Let's ruin our lives.
Getting pissed at high tides, chewing up like cyanide. Please don't revive. Let's ruin our lives. Some pills in acid, nails in my casket. That sounds romantic. To just ruin our lives.
それじゃあビデオ見てもらいます。寝んなよ。
Hello everybody, I'm Josh Hensley, and this is Let's Ruin Our Lives. Joining me today is author, podcaster, filmmaker. You know him from NKY Films' two new projects, Truly Trudy and Casually Cool. It is Eric Hunter.
Woo!
Welcome aboard, my
Thanks
friend.
for having me back on, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming back on. I really appreciate it.
No, of course. I'm excited to dive in.
Yeah,
and ruin my life again.
I don't know if you know, but I am a writer, or I was a writer.
You mentioned that.
Yeah.
Always a writer. Always a writer.
It's kind of like a disease. I sold poetry on the streets for like 10 years.
Wow.
That was exciting. So
Holy cow.
Yeah. So I'd really like to pick your brain about like what it is to be a writer, what compels you to do so, and if there are any tangible rewards.
Yeah, man. I want to talk about you busking later too. That sounds
sure.
awesome.
Yeah, we can get into that. How old were you when you started writing, or discovered that like you had a gift?
A gift. That's so nice of you to say that.
Curse.
So, yeah, curse for sure. I think I always have been. You know what I mean? Like I would try to say I was other things. Mm-hmm. Like I tried to make it as a musician for a short time. I tried to make it as a tabletop role-playing dungeon master, game master for a while, and kind of am. And then try to make it as an indie game reviewer for a minute. Try to make it as a retro game reviewer for a minute. But the core of all those things were writing.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I finally, I think it kind of clicked with me during like lockdown with COVID and stuff, where there really wasn't anything else for me to do, and I was trying to come up with projects, and I was trying to like stay creative and stay sharp, and it was just like, oh well, I know what I can do. I can write, and I can just put that up, and then after that, I was like, well, all right, well, shit, I guess I'm just gonna keep doing this then, because like the gaming thing was kind of boring to me. And then I was never really that good of a musician. Like I was never. I'm an okay singer, and I think my songwriting's good, but the total package never made sense, And like,
sure, yeah.
But yeah, like even during school, I felt like taking writing class and English class. Like, man, these are my favorite classes. Like creative writing in college was like, I get to do. This is how I get to spend my time. Like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Did you get a degree in writing or in English?
No. So I wanted to be a game developer. So I went to a tech school to get an associate's in science of information technology, something. And then realized that I didn't need any of those things to be a game developer, because I could just, buy an Unreal Engine license and then just learn how to do it myself. Oh, okay. And then 3 years later, I was like, man, this was a waste of my time and money. So.
Right, yeah. Do you remember, like, the first thing you ever wrote that made you feel like the spark?
Yes. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So this would have been 7th grade, English class.
Nice.
7th grade. Oof. And we were told just to write a short story. It had to be 10 pages long, something like that. So, gosh, 7th grade, I'm like sweating.
Yeah.
Even though like
long for a 7th grader for most people.
But I'm writing 10,000 word video game reviews.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like the RPG pinball game for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Okay. Interesting.
To me, like I was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So it's so funny. There's a whole story to this, but I wrote this story. It was called The Writer. And it was this idea that this guy who was a writer could predict murders as they were happening, and he would write them in real time as the murder was happening. And then, the detectives would look at this and be like, geez, oh my gosh, like this is almost like he's standing right by that guy.
Yeah.
And it's a supernatural thing, and they end up finding the guy and blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So submitted that to my 7th grade writing English teacher, Miss King. Hope you're out there. And she caught me in the hallway like the next day as I was walking somewhere else, and she's like, "Hey, the writer," and I was like,
Nice.
"What?" She's like, "Your story, the writer, it was really good." I was like, "Oh, thanks, Miss King.
Yeah.
Got to go to math class."
For sure.
And then I remember sitting in class thinking just like, "Oh, that's weird. I don't think anybody's actually ever said, hey, that thing that you wrote was really good.
Right,
I
right.
really enjoyed it." And
That was a good teacher
I've
right there.
always, yeah. Like
rare.
one of those teachers that I 100% took for granted. So sorry,
Mm-hmm.
Miss King. But also, like, one of my most, in my head, pinnacle memories
Mm-hmm.
growing up, and especially like going through school and stuff. And like, I still think back to that day where just like, yeah, man, she was on my side. It's like, I was 7th grade. Like,
Right.
holy cow.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you remember the outcome of that story?
Oh, so the
If you don't
outcome
mind.
is
Spoiler
no,
alert.
yes, no, yeah. So the outcome is, I'll tell the other part of the story then. So
Okay.
the outcome of the story is they bit the cops. There's 2 detectives,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just like, look, we're just going to sit this writer in a room and
Oh, okay.
wait till something pops. So he's just sitting there, and it's like a confinement kind of thing, and
Yeah.
like he fizzles out, and he's like, oh shit, there's another murder happening.
Right.
And then it ends with, and then she screams, and then off in the distance they hear a woman scream.
Nice.
And the detectives are like, she's nearby.
Yeah.
And then it's like fades to black. So
Okay.
I was trying to find that story, not kidding, every bit of like maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was
Okay.
like, I know I got it, couldn't find it. And then I got to thinking, I was just like, man, that story sounds really familiar.
Mm-hmm.
So I went onto Reddit and I was like, hey, so there is a TV show that I've seen, and here's this idea, and I think it's this idea, and I'm describing my story.
Right.
Because I was like, I know I didn't put this together. I feel like I stole this from somebody.
Okay.
And lucky to the internet and Reddit, and it kind of came to the idea that it was like a little bit of an X-Files episode
Okay.
with also like a Remington Steele murder mystery episode, and I was conflating them together as an original thing.
Interesting.
So
yeah.
I felt like I was getting away with something. I was like, man, Miss King's going to give me an
Right.
A+ on this paper, and I totally stole it from somebody. But it was an amalgamation of things.
Right.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's a reconstructive memory, right?
I was so smart.
Yeah. No, it kind of, honestly, it reminds me of like Philip K. Dick, kind of. Where did you ever get into
Yeah.
his books? Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
Do Robots Dream of Electric Sheep? And
yeah,
100%.
Obviously so much more than just like a sci-fi writer, right? He wrote about, politics, society, drugs,
1984.
religion. Fascinating. He's
84?
my second favorite author, I'd say.
Ooh.
Well,
Who's your first?
him and Vonnegut,
Oh, yeah, of course.
they,
Kurt.
they'd be tied,
I say Kurt like we're on a first name basis. Yeah.
right.
Yeah, good point.
But it also sort of reminded me of maybe the movie The Wishmaster. Is that the right movie? Or
So Wishmaster with what's his name?
it's probably not The Wishmaster. It's the one where the kid is like painting stuff and that stuff comes alive.
Whatever you imagine.
All is possible. 20th this Thanksgiving, take your family to a world beyond imagination. The Page Master.
What did you start
Practical.
writing on? Like I started writing on my dad's word processor. So like
Oh, yeah.
a typewriter, but
Oh,
it
wow.
had like a little green screen with the black writing, and then it was very hard to edit on, but you could actually edit, before you printed it.
Yeah, I think so. My mom was always pretty hip to buying stuff on QVC and the Home Shopping Network, if you're familiar with those.
Sure.
And I want to say she had a typewriter. I know she had a typewriter that had like the little LCD, kind of
Yeah.
what you were talking about.
Okay.
So you would type on the LCD, and you'd probably get 2 lines of text.
Right, yeah.
And you're like, okay, is that all right? And then you'd hit print, and then it would physically print it out.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, and then my dad ended up like from his old job before he retired, got me a laptop that had Windows 3.1 on it.
Wow, I never even heard of that.
Oh, it is. It's just it's an amazing thing to go back to, because
Right.
like this was revolutionary. And on included with that was Word Perfect, which was which was a whole different suite of.
Right.
What's so funny is I hadn't thought about that until I was listening to an interview with
I don't
not
know.
Tolkien.
Lewis? C.S. Lewis?
No. Game of Thrones guy.
Oh, G.R.R. Martin?
Or Martin. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He talked about how when he wrote that first, was it Fire and Storm or Ice and Storm or something like
I
that?
don't know, yeah.
He wrote it on WordPerfect because
Wow.
that was before the little red squiggly lines would show up if you misspelt something.
Yeah.
That's what drove him insane because all the names aren't
Right.
English or what you consider nomenclature.
Right,
So
yeah.
like he got tired of seeing the red squiggly lines, so he went to WordPerfect. And I was like, I wrote on WordPerfect before. Weird.
Yeah, that is interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Is George R.R. Martin the one who wrote horror movies? No, that was the Lord of the Rings director, right?
Oh, you're thinking of
George A. Romero.
Romero.
Yeah.
No, he didn't do Lord. Yeah, he didn't do Lord of the
Right?
Rings.
No, he did not. No.
No, he did Dead Alive, and he
That's
did names. Man, it's gonna be one of those nights. I
Yeah,
am
for
terrible with people's names.
No, I.
He made one of my favorite movies, or directed one of my favorite movies, Frighteners, with Michael J. Fox and.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I would say, and this would be a conversation with you, me, and Ricky.
Yeah.
But we believe that Frighteners takes place in the same universe as the Ghostbusters.
Oh, interesting.
So there are ghosts there,
Okay.
and people know there are ghosts there, but there are only so many that can actually see them.
Yeah.
And then in the movie with Frighteners, Michael J. Fox plays a kind of like a shitty Ghostbuster where he's like, oh yeah, I can see there's ectoplasm all over the place, and we got to do this, this, and this, and it'll be $3,000. But his buddies are the ghosts. And he's the only one who can see them. So they're just like, oh, did they pick up the bed? And they're like, yeah, they did pick up the bed. He's like, all right, thanks, Frank. Thanks, George. Thanks for making sure that, oh, did they open and close the cupboards? They're like, yeah, they did do that. And he's like, all right, thanks, guys.
That sounds so familiar. Was that in the 90s?
Fantastic.
Like
yeah,
it's
gotta
yeah.
be.
Oh, okay. Before his
Fantastic.
Parkinson's like took over.
Yeah, yes. I feel like
right.
that was probably his last. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but I think that's like one of his last movies where when he finally took a step back.
Is there a scene
Oh,
where
Jeffrey
there's
Combs is in it. That's like one of my favorite roles for Jeffrey Combs is in that. Yeah, he's not the main. The main guy from Reanimator.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's a good movie.
But they call in the special detective.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like you see him, you're just like, this guy has a whole backstory just to himself.
Oh, nice. Oh, I love
And
that.
just-
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
That's
Highly
what I don't
recommend
like
it. Right?
about A24. Like, I like A24 movies, but I feel like there's no... I guess I shouldn't say that I don't like, but I'm not accustomed to everything being so, like, in the moment with their movies.
Oh,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like, there's not a lot of, like, build up to get to know them. You figure out who they are through their behavior, which is interesting and, like, innovative in a way. But, as somebody who loves reading and, like, backstory, it really frustrates me.
diving in.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and honestly, I think that's just a reaction to the times of like a Gen Alpha kind of a thing.
For sure.
And I push back on all that bullshit too, because I think at the end of the day, if the entertainment's good enough, it rises to the top. People will take time to ingest it,
Totally.
Like that's why we still have like, even to me in my brain, going back even further when it comes to art, like art itself, Banksy is still out there doing things, and people are noticing these things. So, I think to that point where it's very TikTok, it's very, we have to keep this going. It's like, no, you don't. Like you can explain, you can get, like you said, you can give me something that's played through context clues.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Is that for me? Is that for the character in the movie? Is it for the audience? Like those are different conversations, like
for sure.
I make one of the things that I try to push for, and Ricky can speak to this too, is like I'm really big about like making the world feel lived in.
Yes.
Like it's not just boom and here we are. It's 20 years past that boom, or it's 2,000 years past that boom. So what does all that look like?
Okay.
So, like when you see like some of these like post-apocalyptic films, and it's just like, oh man, it's like, well, that building's dilapidated. And it's like, yeah, that takes probably hundreds of years, right?
Right.
It's like, well, no, they were attacked. Like, oh, okay, that's way different story then. They were attacked. Like, so you're allowing the world itself, like, feel more like there's more going on rather than just like, happily walking through Main Street and,
Right. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, that's very smart. So those little details, sort of like on a painting, that really like the average passerby might not pick up on, but like if you really think about it,
it's the brushstroke. Like, why is this brushstroke so thicker here than it is over here?
Right.
And to the painter, it was probably just like, I'm having a shitty day.
Right.
Where, as the person observing is like, oh no, there's symmetry here. There's a story here. Like, yeah, maybe.
Right. For sure. So you've written 3 books, correct? Or you have 3 published?
That's right.
Okay.
Okay. That's a different
question. So I've got...
Yeah, 3 published. Yeah, you got Grave Garden.
Got Grave Garden there. I printed
Did you get
out.
into it at all? Oh, wow. You did the whole hardback cover? Man.
So I'm going to have... like I was telling you, I just started English 101 today. I've been in psych since August, but I started English 101, and since I got this, I'm going to have the college bind it and turn it into
that is
a book.
Awesome.
So thank you so much for sending me
no, that's going to be great. I would love to see the finished product.
Yeah,
so cool.
I'll post it for sure. I'll make it into like a whole hard copy. So unfortunately, I haven't got the chance to start reading it yet.
No worries. I can tell you all about
it. Let me know. Who is Chip? Chip, the main character, is Chip?
Yeah, so Chip is the new kid in town to the city garden.
Okay, gotcha.
He moved into just a not a dilapidated kind of shitty house, but kind of a weird house. Way lesser than he's used to from the town that he came from. But the weird thing is the house at the very end of the hill, and this one's all looks overgrown with shrubbery, and it looks like broken wood pieces and stuff. And it comes with a story that he soon learns when he goes to school as a new freshman at Garden High.
Oh, okay.
And he realizes that the story has a history and it's possibly haunted.
Okay.
And him and his 2 new friends that he meets there, they decide, you know what? Let's go check it out. Let's actually go see if it's haunted.
Yeah.
And then hilarity ensues.
Nice. So, in what way has your real life influenced the setting? Like the cities that he moved from or that he moved into?
The one he moved into, oh my gosh. I'm a one-trick pony when it comes to this stuff. So of the 3 books that I've written, like anytime I talk about a kitchen, it's either the kitchen that is upstairs in my house right now, or it's the kitchen in my mom and dad's house.
Okay.
I have no other affinity for kitchens. So like,
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like the house layout in my first novel, Kisses for Andrew, is exactly the house layout for Grave Garden because I don't know any other house layouts other than the one that I live in, you know? Right. So that stuff is very much, Grave Garden specifically, there's a scene in the beginning where Chip and his dad are riding into town, quote unquote, into town. So like the way the town's designed is, the main hub is in the center and there's a river that's north of it that runs from end to end. And then the city kind of like fades out and neighborhoods happen. So the idea of walking from a neighborhood or driving through a neighborhood to get to downtown, that is very much the area that I grew up in. Gotcha. So I grew up in a small town in Kentucky called Melbourne, and Melbourne was the farm town. But man, the moment you got to Silver Grove, then there's like lights in the sky, and there's like there's a 4-way stoplight, and it's just like, oh, like I'm in town, like I'm not walking on gravel anymore. This is a sidewalk. This is cement.
The big city.
So the big city, and it is very much like that for me, and even it being like a one-light town and it's a blink if you miss it kind of a place. Oh, wow. If you're walking there, if you're taking your time to observe everything, it feels much bigger. But that is totally the place that I grew up in.
Okay, interesting. I get that too. Like they say, write what you know, right? So,
I hate that phrase.
I kind of do too, but I do rely on that
phrase.
Yeah. Why do you hate it? Yeah.
Because I think you're saying it wrong. And I'm not meaning you. I mean like the royal you. Like write what you know. All right. Well,
the editorial.
Yeah, but like I want to write a story about spaceships like flying through the air and blasters and stuff. I'm just like, I don't know, write what you know. Like, I'm in sales. Well, that's no fun. But the thought process to me is it's not write what you know, it's write what you actually know. So like if you want to tell a story about 2 people who are going through a broken relationship and that's something you went through, like write what you know, put it in space.
Yeah, definitely.
Put robots in there with a
Yeah.
war, but like the part that you should be writing about is the heart of the story. You know, like I push back on the Chekhov's gun thing, where it's like, oh,
right.
Chekhov's gun. If you show a gun in the first act, it needs to go off in the third act. Where to me that means if you have a gun to show off,
Right.
holy shit, great, show off the gun.
Right.
But yeah, it should probably do something later. You know, like it shouldn't be happenstance. You know, like if you're going to point a finger at a thing, especially when it comes to this kind of entertainment, you know, with film and TV and novels and any of that stuff, you're like, this is not the real world. I don't have to explain everything to you. So if I'm pointing at a thing, I'm saying, oh, the wall is green, there needs to be a reason why that wall is green, or else why are you telling me?
Oh,
You
okay.
know?
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
I think
that right you know, yeah.
Yeah. See, I think that's where I fail as a writer, is that when I write, it's very like stream of consciousness. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, then I'll go back and edit or whatever. But I never have really taken the, like in short stories and stuff, I've never taken the time to like, put in those details that matter. Like the wall is green. Why is it green? You know what I mean?
Right.
I was watching Planet Terror last night, which
Yes.
obviously I've seen before. And the way
Amazing.
at the very beginning when they're zooming in or whatever on Marilyn Manson's ex-girlfriend, Rose McGowan's leg.
Oh, I was like, yeah, what is this expression?
Right.
Rose McGowan.
The leg that later gets, you know, turned into the assault rifle. That would be an example of Chekhov's gun, right? Sort
Yeah.
of, I guess literally. I mean,
100%.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, there's a reason I'm showing you this.
Right,
You know,
right.
like, so pay attention.
Okay.
You know, and I pushed back on, like, I feel like Stephen King falls for this quite a bit. Like, he loves his characters, and I
Right.
get that.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot that he goes into. It's just like, yeah, this is all like fun and interesting stuff, but like he's going to die in a couple of pages. So what does any of this matter?
Right.
And it's just like, oh, because like, look at this world. It's slice of life. And like, I'm trying to, you know, I want to show off how great this is. It's like, all right. I mean, this book could have been 200 pages instead of 5. Right?
For sure.
I mean, still getting the same story. So I don't know. Like for me, as a writer in anything that I've ever done, whether it be music or screenwriting or novels or short stories or any of that stuff, I've come to the realization that I write for entertainment. Like, I don't think I could ever write a memoir or anything that was going to be like, and this is going to sound bad, but like from the heart. And now I don't
I
mean
understand
that like, yeah, but like, I want to entertain. Like,
Yeah.
I want you to feel like you've spent a good amount of your time and you've enjoyed it. And so if it comes off as just like kind of slapsticky or pie in the face sometimes, or,
Yeah.
you know, like I'm a sucker for a romantic comedy. And it's just like, oh,
too.
well, they're just going to break up in the third act. And you're like, yeah, you goddamn right. They're going to break up in the third act
Right.
because it's going to be really bad when it happens when the robot war starts.
Right, yeah.
You know, like I'm a gusher for all that stuff, you know, and I recognize those auteurs out there that can write those things that are truly like breathtaking and riot-inducing and world-changing. It's like,
Right.
man, good for you guys. I'm going to write a book about monsters eating kids. That's
Nice.
what I'm going to do.
I like that.
And that's what Grave Garden ended up being. It's just a monster eating kids. That's,
Okay.
There's room for us. There's room for all of us.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think sort of on the last episode when I brought up punk rock, you seem to acknowledge that or whatever. So
Yes.
I'm assuming that you grew up with punk as like an influence or lifestyle or whatever you want to call it. Culture.
Oh, well, I mean, yes, it was always in retaliation too, right?
Yeah.
So my dad's cultural listings growing up and sitting in his truck waiting for the bus to come pick me up for school was, you know, it was country, it was bluegrass. Like every once in a while, there'd be like an Eagles song, maybe an Ozzy Osbourne song.
Right.
And then when my mom, you know, my mom's car was whatever the gushing '80s love ballads was. The Ricky Manilow, Ricky Manilow,
Barry Manilow?
Barry Manilow. There it is. But like, you know, so for me, when I was listening to music, it was just like, I just want to listen to something that is loud.
Yeah.
Because none of that music is loud.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Very subdued.
and-
yeah.
oh yeah, and you know, and I'm a younger brother. I have an older brother, and like trying to keep him head out of my head. You know, I was just like, what's this band called Pantera? Let's listen to that.
Nice.
Like, oh, you know, like any of that stuff, right? And you kind of just grow an affinity for that, and because of course, I'll be 40 this year, or in a couple of weeks.
Oh, nice.
That'll be in a
Happy
couple of
birthday.
weeks.
Awesome.
I was gonna say, yeah, thanks. I've realized that like also that punk music was being marketed to me at that time frame, you
Right,
know, and then
yeah.
like watching movies like Salt Lake City Punk,
Oh, yeah.
and being like, oh, I don't understand any of this. Like I get it, you know, like Dead Kennedys, I understand, you know,
Right.
like Nazi punks must die. Like I get all that shit, but like I don't. I'm not that person,
Right,
you know?
for
Like,
sure.
I'm
Especially
here
growing
for
up
the
in a
fight.
small town. Yeah.
Well, God, yeah, on a 20-acre farm of all things on top of
Right,
it. So
right,
it was
yeah.
just like,
Oh,
I was
wow.
going to like being in the country. Like I went to a country high school where
Yeah.
like we were really pushing our football team, but it was
Right.
the future farmers of America is really what was,
Oh, okay,
partaking.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting,
So, and then it's trying to find people in that instance, because again, this is before the internet. So when I got into the music scene, I'll call the music scene.
Sure.
We were still passing around cassette tapes,
Right,
mixtapes,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
when CDs came out, like we were flipping like mixtapes,
Oh, yeah.
and one of the next novels in the series for My Grave Garden, like its music is prevalent about that,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
the
nice.
mixtape and the high school grunge band and the garage band and like all that energy and all that. Nonsense, really, at the end of the day, but
Right.
like you had to put it somewhere,
Right.
and like. So I understand that. I understand like the anger and the angst and the want to go out there and do something, but it's
Right.
like, man, I'm gonna hop on this tractor real quick because I got to bush hog the field at 4:00, and then I got to go to school. So you guys do that thing. I'm here for you. Like I'm here for you.
So do you live in a small town now, or have you left that behind?
So my parents still live on that farm that I grew up in, and my
That's
kids
cool.
love it. I got two
Yeah,
little
I
kids.
bet. Nice.
And they love being there. And but no, me and the wife, we moved across the river,
No, okay.
to be in Cincinnati, Ohio. So
Oh,
we're pretty
okay.
close to like a metropolitan area.
Yeah.
And we live in a suburb neighborhood now. So like I got neighbors all around me. Whereas
Right.
before it was like a mile away,
Wow.
and yeah, so big difference.
I can sort of relate to that. Before, like, okay, so I told you on our last episode we did together with Ricky and Nick, I grew up on a commercial fishing boat, but
Yeah.
I also used to live in the wine country, they called it, of Temecula, California. It
Okay.
was really just a double wide trailer, and on 5 acres we had like our own little hill and like a bunch of dogs, sunflowers. I guess we had chickens at one point. I'm not sure. And the closest
come around.
neighbors were like half a mile away in either direction.
Yeah.
So I kind of get that. Which do you prefer?
Oh, well, as a kid, I hated it. I hated
Right.
being away from friends,
Totally.
like,
Yeah. Very isolating. And it's like
yeah.
Yeah.
But so now
all you
growing
have
up,
is your family to traumatize you. Sorry.
exactly, yeah. And the trauma was
Yeah.
Tyson. But yeah, I mean, now, so it's like, again, like I get my dad why, because he grew up in a big neighborhood with lots of people,
Oh.
and he was the reason we went out to the
Gotcha.
farm. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because he didn't want to be around anybody, and it's just like, man, it's like, yeah, man, it takes me 20 minutes to get to a major highway,
Right.
and then I'm 20 minutes everywhere from there. But like, God, 20 minutes is 20 minutes, and couldn't get anybody to ever come back,
Of course,
because
yeah.
it's literally in the middle of nowhere, and if you
Yeah.
don't know how to get out of there, you can't get out of there.
Yeah.
Again, no internet, no GPS, no none of that stuff. It's turn left here when you see the big honking cow frame, turn right.
Yeah.
So when I was looking for a house, when me and my wife got together, I was like, I want to be in walking distance of things.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
the place that we found, it's like, man, we're in walking distance to the grocery store, a park,
Nice.
the library, a bar, 2 bars actually. Just a bunch of cool shit to do around here.
That sounds fantastic.
But when I sit outside in the backyard and I hear the cars going by and the sirens and all that stuff, I was like, yeah, oh, man, I get it now. And I get why my dad moved out the middle
Right.
of nowhere. Like,
Interesting.
it was just, it's too loud. Like sometimes, it just gets too loud.
Yeah. It's
So
never
which one I
silent.
prefer?
Yeah.
Yeah. So which one do I prefer? I mean, I like this one right now.
Sure.
So we'll see when I'm 60, when I'm, pulling my way out the door.
Right. Right. Okay, so my thoughts here is like when you brought up that like you write to entertain, like in my experience, like growing up with punk rock in Los Angeles, I won't get into how snooty and shitty everybody is, but it was always about like there was this feeling that like you're not allowed to want to entertain or to want success. Like it always has to be, because then you sell out, right? It always has to be a social like conscientiousness behind every single artistic expression. And I was like a slave to that mindset for a very long time until I started getting more heavily into like stand-up comedy, where it's like, oh, I can just laugh at a stupid dick joke. You know what I mean? It's not everything has to fucking mean something or whatever. Like,
right.
You know, for lack of better words there. So I like that. I like your approach. You know what I mean? Like not everything has to be so heavy-handed at all times, especially with the world that we live in. Right.
Oh, 100%. So I can relate a little bit to what you're saying, because so when I was a musician trying to make it on my own, I would go to bars and say, hey, you know, I'm a local guy. I got kind of a following, but the nice thing is all my friends are alcoholics. So if I play here, the bar tab's going to be through the roof, even if I can only bring 20 people. Like I hung out with a lot of alcoholics back in the day. I still kind of do. But so it became that thing, and they were just like, oh yeah, well, what kind of music do you play? And I'm like, right now it's just me. I play acoustic, you know, acoustic guitar. I've got a couple of covers I can do, some old favorites. I got a lot of original music that I play too. And every time was just like, so what's the breakdown then? Are we talking about like 70-30? Like 70% of the time you're playing covers, 30% of the time it's yours, and it's like, it's more like the other way around, because I'm a musician. Like, I'm a singer-songwriter. Like I have self-recorded albums with my track on it. I have a YouTube video that at one point had 10,000 views. Very nice.
That's cool.
And then I had to take it down due to copyright claims.
That sucks. Was it a cover? Was it a cover?
No, it was an original.
Why did they take it down?
I was experimenting with video editing, and I downloaded other videos and was cutting them together. And then I was just like, here's my music video with my song behind it. And then somebody was just like, no, that's my video. Copyright track. I was like, shit, I guess so. I never thought of it that way. I just thought this thing was fun.
Right. So funny.
But it became an issue at the point where it was just like, and then I got to that point where I was like, man, the scene is not for me, I don't think, because it's either I need to do something and get really, really good as a musician, like playing, or I need to go somewhere else. And it's like, well, I can't do any of those things, you know? And I feel like, especially in Cincinnati, when it comes to that scene, like some of this stuff, like it's so highbrow, and it's, you know, I feel like there's a difference between selling out and getting famous for the thing that you're doing. You know, like if somebody wants to pay me to do a thing, well then you can pay me to do a thing, and I'll be the first person to say, yeah, they paid me to do this. Right,
for sure. Yeah, no, selling out is when you change to fit into mainstream
and whatever the narrative is.
Exactly, yeah.
Which to 100%. Me, that is like the least punk rock thing in the world. And I'm not just, you know, just in terms of music, just in the ideology of what punk rock means.
Right.
Where it's like, oh yeah, well if I do a thing that I created on my own, out of my own head, and then suddenly it just got really big and it got me a bunch of money, well fuck yeah, let's do that. Like, for sure, that seems okay to me. You know, as long as I'm raising up other voices and I'm trying to help others out while I'm doing my thing too. Like, isn't that the whole idea? Like, shit, man, like the Renaissance man, that was what they did. They went around town, just walking the street. It's like, hey, I'll write you a poem for your girlfriend. What's her name? All right, give me 5 pence, you know, like, let me be that guy. Like, I'm still working.
For sure.
You know, I'm still working.
100%. Yeah, especially when you consider like the Ramones, Sex Pistols, Blondie, like the Clash, they were all signed to major labels.
Oh yeah, the Clash.
You know.
Yeah.
And none of them changed.
How else are they going to get heard? Like at the end of the day, you know, like
for sure.
But if if I make $100 and I spend 80 of that $100 and I give it to a charity that's helping out kids in need, well, fuck, that sounds pretty punk rock to me. That's shit, I'm not spending that dollars and blowing it on like cocaine or anything.
Anymore.
Okay,
so is there anywhere that we can listen to your music, or do you have any of it like uploaded?
So I do have a YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
Because I got a bunch of my, like, I don't know what's on it, to be honest. Actually, okay. So yes,
Okay.
this is probably the only one.
Sure.
And it's the music video that got taken down
Oh, okay.
due to copyright strikes. So the music video, or let's see, yeah, it's the only one that's on here. Oh, it's 1,000 views. Look at me.
Oh, still pretty
Uploaded
good.
6 years ago. So I wrote a song for based on a weightlifter named Ronnie Coleman.
Okay.
I don't know if that rings a bell at all.
No,
it doesn't
maybe.
have to.
Yeah.
So Ronnie Coleman, world's strongest man a couple times. He won the Schwarzenegger bodybuilding, whatever, a couple of times. Mr. Universe, I think is what it's called. My dad's screaming at me right now. So what turned me on about him is he's got a lot of weird sayings.
Okay.
So he'd be like psyching himself out, getting ready to lift up like some huge weights, and be like, "All right, man, this ain't nothing but a peanut." and then he'd bend down, and then he'd drop it and be like, "Oh, lightweight, baby, lightweight."
That's funny.
Lightweight. And everybody's like, "Yeah, Ronnie, great job." So anyway, I took all of his sayings and I wrote a song called "Lightweight Baby," a Ronnie Cole tribute song.
Nice.
And it's just an acoustic song, and it's the only thing that's worth really watching on my YouTube channel right now.
Okay, cool.
So I can link it to you if you want to hear it.
But if you want, we can put it at the beginning of this episode, or at least like.
Oh, is that what you want to do? You do whatever you want to do, brother.
Okay, you said it. If somebody gives me permission to use something on my tiny little
100%.
podcast, I'm going to.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
It'd also be a good name for the episode, Lightweight Baby. I like that.
Lightweight Baby, yeah.
So as long as it's okay with you, you know.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's here. I'll just throw it in the chat before I forget.
Sure.
You know, and it was just it's a dumb, and that's the other thing too. So like I've got albums literally sitting on the shelf behind me that I've written and recorded at home, kind of a thing, and I'm very happy with lots of that music, and mainly because of I realized that it happened at a point in my life, and it's like I may not relate to it anymore, but it's just like, oh yeah, past Eric was going through some shit, and this is how he went through it.
Okay. So you're like keeping an anthology of your life for yourself.
Kinda, you know, like I do it with music that I've written. Yeah. I do it with band T-shirts that I still have. Like I've got a band T-shirt from my buddy's band that hasn't existed in every bit of 20 years.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it's one of a kind because I was just like, you know, it'd be great for a band T-shirt if you did this with some guns. He's like, yeah, that's cool. And I was like, yeah, have somebody do that for me and then I'll pay for it. Like I still wear that shirt.
Yeah.
Once a month. You know what I mean? And the reason I wear it is because it's a part of who I was at one point. And I feel like music is a lot of that. But gosh, do I want to share that with people? I don't know, man.
Have you ever seen Only Lovers Left Alive with Tom Hiddleston and Tilda Swinton?
I have not. It sounds familiar.
I think
I know the title.
They're vampires. It's made by the guy that made that Austin movie, Slacker. Midnight Train or something like that. This Japanese rock movie. But the Tom Hiddleston, that's his name, right? Hiddleston. He played Loki.
Yes.
He's a vampire, right? Yeah. And he's a great musician, and he records all this music, right? But he doesn't release any of it. He keeps it all to himself for however many hundreds of years that he's been a vampire for.
I can relate.
Yeah.
100%. You know, like I've probably written thousands of stories that will never see the light of day.
Oh yeah. Have you ever lost any writings that you really wanted to keep?
I have. Yeah. Well, the writer, the one that we were talking about before, because I can't find that anywhere, even though I'm sure it's not great. But again, like it's just kind of that thing where I don't know. Like it's like you're keeping track of like who you've become. You know, so like. Going back and like, oh, I'm going to do this now. So me and Ricky, we did a radio show called Star Wars Gary. Oh. And it was very much a Clerks meets Star Wars. Cool. So the story revolves around two stormtroopers, Kevin and Jack. Yeah. And their goofy buddy, Gary. Okay. And Gary's kind of out there, but it's very slapsticky. It's very, you know, I was going to say like late night comedy show, you know. Yeah, tongue in cheek. Yeah, like, and we took advantage of like taking advantage of the universe of Star Wars, and we were using things where it's like, oh well, when this happens in one of the movies, nobody knows what this guy's doing, so let's write a story about that guy.
Yeah.
You know, and like how they interact and stuff like that.
I love that. I've always wanted to do stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm like, we learned. We joke about this now, but like we learned so much just about what it means to like write a joke. What it means for like the setup and the payoff. What is a 3-act structure?
Yeah.
You know, how can we get like, how can we flex existing material without breaking it?
Right.
You know, so like,
right.
We were doing things like we did the thing where episode 1 happens and they come down to Tatooine and they're just like, oh yeah, there's a whole pod racing thing going on. Like, we're going to go over here. And I was just like, man, what's going on the other side of town? There has to be something else going on. So we did a whole episode of just like Jack and Kevin going over to the other side of town, and it's a bazaar, and they buy a bunch of weird shit. And it's just like, yeah, there's a whole other thing happening. It's like, yeah, the world doesn't stop just because this is happening.
I like that a lot. It's sort of like Hunter S. It reminded me, this is how my brain works, right? I relate to things of Hunter S. Thompson when he's supposed to be covering that race in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, but he's Gonzo. He's spending all the time at the bar instead, and that becomes kind of way more interesting than the race itself.
Than the actual story, yeah. Oh, I love when he almost got his ass beat by all those motorcycle gangs. And he was just like, no, I'm just here reporting the news. And they're like, no, you're not.
Right, yeah,
You're here messing with shit, man. Like,
he did get beat down by the Hells Angels.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why it sounds familiar.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
he,
I love that story.
I believe there's footage of him, like, his face is, like, swollen shut because they beat the shit out of him. Yeah. He got a little too mouthy, I think. Yeah.
That'll be a rabbit hole I need to jump down to. That'd be awesome.
I love Hunter S. Thompson. He's top 5 writer for me. So I'm interested. Who are your favorite authors, or what's your favorite like genre?
Horror. I'm a horror guy.
Sure.
Yeah, from start to finish. Like I like fantasy, so like R.L. Salvatore did a bunch of books that take place during the Dungeons and Dragons universe. He came up with the character Driz Duerden, which is a dual-wielding scimitar dark elf. It's a great trilogy of books if you're looking for like a trilogy where he started with the middle one, then went back and wrote the first one, and then later did the third one to make it a trilogy. It's fascinating. It's just fascinating. But it's very Dungeons and Dragons, you know. Yeah,
I like that.
I do like Stephen King. I think that he's got a lot of interesting takes on things. His son, Joe Hill, what was his first book? Heart-Shaped Box is amazing. Like it's super scary and it's super lifelike, you know. I cut my teeth on R.L. Stein and Goosebumps books.
Me too.
And I read, you know, like I obsessed over scary stories to tell in the dark and all that stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And then dived into, you know, like the Nickelodeon Are You Afraid of the Dark and Erie, Indiana. And like I loved all the weird kind of like scary, but like also very realistic kind of like everyday America shit. Because like there's scary in that too, you know?
Okay, so not so much like fantastical, rooted in reality, but with the
like a cadence of reality. Yeah.
Oh, that's
like
a good way to put it. Yeah. You are a writer.
I try. I'm working on it.
For sure. When you are developing characters, what's your process with that? Do you put in people that you know, like as an inspiration, or because I'll just straight up take people I know and use their real names sometimes, and they're a character in whatever I'm writing.
Yeah, 100%. Like anything that I can like build off of. So I've realized I'm very much a person where it's like, oh, I like XYZ. I'm going to do my take on XYZ. So it's oh, I love, you know, body snatchers. I'm going to make my take of body snatchers.
Right.
You know, what's funny with me is I don't care about character names. Character names mean nothing to me.
Agreed.
You know, it's funny when I talk to people who are just like, oh, I'm so stuck in what this character's name's supposed to be. And I'm like, fucking, who gives a shit? It's Joe. It's Bob.
For sure.
It's Dominic. You know, like I wrote a story called The Airman. And the whole idea is that this guy and his wife, they're retired and they're living in this kind of dilapidated house, and it's in this far-flung future. And this guy comes knocking on the door, and he's a salesman. He's like, hey, I'm Airman. from Airmen America, and we're here to sell you the best smelling air from sea to sea, and blah blah blah. And and it's this whole idea of that vacuum salesman where he comes into your house and he shows you how it works, and like, look at all the great attachments, but except I'm selling you cans of air. And this one smells like Mount Everest. And when you breathe it in, you can feel how cold it is, and blah, blah, blah. And when I was part of a writer's group, the name of the character was Mr. Wilson.
Nice.
So
Simple.
Mr. Wilson gets said 1,000 times. And one of the critiques I got back was from one of the fellow people in the group was just like, every time he said Mr. Wilson, I just thought of Dennis the Menace, and it took me right out of the story.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh, yeah.
And I was like, man, that sounds like a you problem.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
That's why. So
who pays that much attention to Dennis the Menace?
Well, plus of all the other things that are going on within the story that I thought was super interesting. And so the whole time I'm sitting there and I'm just like, do I change the guy's name? What do I change his name to? Because I don't care. I don't care what this guy's name is. Like, I just want you to be able to read it. And when you see that name, you immediately associate it with whoever the character I'm fucking talking about. Like, I don't. If you're going to Dennis the Menace, then like that's kind of on you. But like that was one of the high critiques. Like a couple other people in the group were like, it was a little distracting. And I was just like, what is wrong with you people?
So the character of Mr. Wilson what was his personality like?
He was very much I know what this is. I'll play this song and dance with you and yada yada. But as the reader, you start to realize that like whatever system they have working at the moment to keeping their air fresh is going bad, but he would never take that.
Right.
But when his wife comes in and asks you the same question she did 3 times in the past 20 minutes because she's having memory lapse because of how much carbonation or how much carbon monoxide is in the air because the system's not filtering correctly. But this guy's still like, no, this is nothing. She's just, don't talk to Mildred. Yeah. She's just, but yeah, very much a curmudgeon.
Interesting. Because I was going to say like, would you then say like, let's take like a fantastical character with a wild name, like, I don't know, Han Solo. Maybe not. Maybe, I mean, because that's such an unusual name, you know what I mean? Like, do you think,
like Bib Fortuna.
Bib Fortuna, there you go. Like, do you think that like giving a wild, unusual name to a wild, unusual character is, how would you consider doing that? Or because I know you just said like you prefer like I'm just gonna name this guy. I mean, I think Mr. Wilson works perfect for that character, but you see what I'm trying to say? Like like the way like Agent Smith is this evil character in the Matrix. He's diabolical, ruthless, cruel, and his name is Agent Smith. You know what I mean? The most common name in America or whatever, like last name or whatever.
So I guess it's got to mean something, right?
Yeah.
Like it's got to. Like, why are we picking? So this character's crazy or wild. Let's pick a wild name for them. For me, it's always one more step. So it's like, do they like the name? Did they pick the name?
Right.
Was the name given to them? Because those are different stories. Totally. Like if you were called Tiny because you were 7'6",
right?
Well, why are we calling him Tiny? Because it's a joke? Well, that's a joke on you. That tells a whole different story.
Right.
Where he'd be like, no, he was every bit of 4'4", just like 8 months ago, and now he's 6'7".
No,
so,
okay, I see. Oh.
Like, we used to call him Tiny, but we're just going to keep calling him Tiny because I'm not changing the name. Screw that guy.
Nice, that's brilliant.
So like there should always be something more, like, because again, you're pointing a finger. It's Chekhov's gun. Why did I give him this crazy name? Right. I gave my character Mr. Wilson because I want the reader to be blind to the name.
Yeah,
because
totally.
it's everything else that's happening should be you should be paying attention to. So like if I called that character Starfighter 44.
Yeah, right.
And it was just like, well, why is his name so fucking weird? What's going on? Like now I can't pay attention, So
I
like,
get
if
that,
you're gonna so if you're gonna give a crazy character a crazy name, like there needs to be one more step. So like, what's the origin of the name? That should mean something. Does the character like the name? Do they not like the name? Like again, I'm going for entertainment. So if I was going to make a Han Solo character, it would be like Frank Meteor, probably. You know what I mean? Like I'm just very basic because I'm going to be wanting it to be more focused on everything else that's going on. But if they run into a character whose name is The One, well, okay. That's a little different.
Right,
we don't call
right.
people that from where I'm from.
Huh.
You know, and
Maybe that's why. I don't know what your opinions are on the prequel
You can ask me.
trilogy
I'll
of
tell you.
Star Wars. I'm sorry.
oh, you want to get into it?
So we can. Just like, from the very start, it's like Anakin is the chosen one. And then there's just not much delivery. You know what I mean? I mean,
Well-
compared to the new movies and all the new stuff, leagues above all this modern crap, in my opinion.
And
But-
not to get. I mean, I think the biggest issue was the fact that like George Lucas wrote them by himself. If he wouldn't have wrote those 3 first movies by himself, because that's why the new Star Wars stuff is so great, because it's written by committee, for good and for bad. It's written by committee.
I mean, yes,
you know?
there is good stuff still, but like the last 3 movies, I'm just like, what's going on?
Hey, set up a perimeter, a 5-click perimeter. And then all of the Jedis just follow each other. They all just start following Basil. There's like 40 people following Basil. And then I expect a fucking circle. Do you know what a fucking perimeter is?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, when Qui-Gon Jinn was introduced, I remember sitting in the theater and being like, holy shit, who
And he
is
was
this
amazing.
guy?
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's
was great.
training Obi-Wan? Well, this guy's got to be awesome,
For sure.
or Obi-Wan's got to be a bitch. It's one of the two, you know? And it's just like watching him, like, in that last fight, and then he gets shot, or gets cut right in the stomach. I was like, oh, that's it?
I know. Yeah. So
Okay.
disappointing. He was such a cool character.
Yeah.
Like-
you know? And
He was like a
it's so
gray
funny.
Jedi, sort of.
Oh, well, so that's the thing. So, like, none of those things would have happened had it not been for Qui-Gon.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Very true.
Obi-Wan never would have been pushing for Anakin to start his training had it not been for Qui-Gon.
True.
Because Obi-Wan was like, this dude died for this kid.
Right.
Like, holy shit, he's got to
For
be
sure.
something, regardless if I think so or not. Like, so when that turn happens in episode 3, and he says, you were my brother, Anakin, like, he fucking means it, man. Like,
Right,
Qui-Gon
yeah.
was dad.
That's so
And
sad.
Dad said, you need to take care of your brother. And he's like, all right, I guess.
Right.
Well, now he's a total shitbag. And it's like, well, I didn't want this. This isn't what I wanted. You know, so like, for me, that third movie is great because
Okay.
you finally get all of that emotion. Like, for me, like, I don't know. It was one of those weird non-internet things where, like,
Yeah.
we're just playing around at school in recess. And it was like, hey, did you hear? Like, Darth Vader became Darth Vader because somebody fell into a lava planet.
Right.
And I was like, that's fucking weird. But I knew that from like a kid.
Me too.
So like when episode 3 came up, I was like, oh shit, did I predict the future? It's like, no, I read a thing that read a thing. That told
Right,
me.
right. Yeah, for sure.
But coming to the end of all that stuff, you know,
Yeah.
like I believe that I will say episode 2 is probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Doesn't matter. It's a Star Wars film.
Attack of
Clone
the
Wars
Clones.
is just
Yeah, it's not very
it's
good. Yeah.
crap. It's so bad.
I like one a lot. I think it's.
I do like
think it's
one.
good,
I
yeah.
will say again, watching it in the theater, that pod race, it was pretty cool.
It was awesome, and the video
That
game
was really. Oh my god.
that was so cool. Yeah.
Being able, realizing as a kid that if you got the N64 cartridge, you could plug in 2 controllers and use both thumbsticks.
What? You could do that?
as a yes. What? Yeah.
Did you need, like-
so?
An adapter for that?
Nope, just player 1 and player 2.
Oh wow.
And then you go to the options, and they're in the controls. It
Yeah.
says dual. You can do GoldenEye that way too.
What?
That's how you get. That's how you can strafe back and forth and shoot with 2 controllers. Yeah, it's amazing.
I did not know that. I was alone a lot as a kid, also, but never very tech savvy.
Yeah, feet, man. Use
wow.
your feet. Totally use your feet.
I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Power
so-
that bad boy back.
So in the way, like with Star, or like you said, if it wasn't for Qui-Gon, like ultimately there would have been no takeover by the Emperor. You know, there would have been no redemption of Darth Vader. There would have been no Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, I mean, right? Because I feel like all of that stuff is a catalyst. You know, like
Yeah,
I
no,
understand
totally.
Luke's story.
Right.
Where he's just like, I kind of just want to tell this giant entity to go fuck themselves. Like, I kind
Right.
of want to be like a rebel.
Right.
Like, all right, cool, man. Like, you've kind of a fucked up life. Like, you're with your aunt and your uncle on a moisture farm on a sand planet. So that's got to be tough work. And you're alone.
Everybody's
with these people?
vaguely racist for some reason.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, the Empire just can come down and do whatever they want and leave. Like, yeah, I'd be pissed about that too. Like, that story
Right.
makes sense. But
It- for
that
sure,
whole
yeah.
thing, you know, that whole thing is, again, trying to link all that shit together is
I
so
know.
stupid.
Yeah,
Like,
especially because
so
it's
dumb.
obviously so much of it was made up as they went along. It's like I don't think
There's
there
a
was,
reason it happened in a galaxy far, far away.
Exactly. Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah,
Way,
but
way more fantasy.
to relate it to like the real world, like the cycle of good becoming bad, becoming good, becoming bad, becoming good. So I guess I kind of want to like pick your spiritual side a little bit or whatever. Like
Yeah.
why? What or what would you? How do I frame this question? Like, I guess what the Hindus call it samsara, right? The cycle of birth, life, suffering, death, rebirth, until you figure out enlightenment and
Yes.
I'm not sure what happens at the end.
That reminds me, there's a story called The Egg by the guy, I'm going to forget his name. He did, what was it, Mission to Mars with Matt Damon or
I don't
something
know.
Mars.
I haven't seen that.
Sci-fi guy. Anyway, forget everybody's name. He wrote a story called The Egg. And it's exactly that. It's about this guy. He wakes up and it's this bright light, and he walks up the steps and he sees himself, and he's just like, what is this? And he's just like, oh, this is just, you finished the stage. Now you're going to move on to the next thing. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, man, you're everybody. You're everybody in your own world. You're your mom, you're your dad, you're your sisters, you're your brothers, you're your neighbors, you're your politicians. You're Hitler. You're the Jews he killed. You are every single one of these people.
Yeah.
You live all of these lives all the time until you move up on that stage. You kind of move up.
Okay.
And he's just like, well, what stage is this? It's like, you just need to go back down, man. And so you're ready to be atoned. You're ready to be enlightened. And
that's very Hindu, very Buddhist.
Very. And it's a beautiful story too, because it's that idea that you get to try again.
Right.
You know, and I think that's what attracts me to those stories is like you get that second chance. Like even if you tried the best and it still didn't work out, it's like, yeah, but you could try again. It may not be the way that you want to try again, and it may not be immediately, or it may not be in the fashion you want it to be, but you get to try again. And seeing that kind of redemption story it helps you as a human being in your real life. Again, write what you know. So you may be writing a story about a serial killer, but if the detective that's trying to solve the case is also trying to find herself as a divorcee at the age of 40 to 19-year-old kids, like, yeah, relatable. Maybe not to me, but like I can feel what she's feeling. I can kind of understand like what that means while all this crazy shit's going on. And I think that's what it is. I think it's just a story that kind of everybody gets, like everybody understands it, and you always want to root for the underdog kind of a thing,
Definitely, while at the same time voting in fascism.
Oh yes, 100%, 100%. So what are you talking about, Philly?
When was that book written? It sounds like very 60s, 70s.
Oh man,
the Egg. I'm gonna order that. That sounds awesome.
Probably, I could probably look for it right now if I knew dude's name. I could probably find dude's
name. It sounds very familiar, actually. It's almost like that's sort of like saying that like I don't know if you've ever taken psychedelics or are comfortable with that subject.
Oh yeah, I haven't, but I am versed.
Okay, yeah, no, for sure. I've learned a lot by just studying the study of what was it?
Andy Weir is his name. He's the writer.
Oh, okay.
And I want to say, I'm pretty sure the story's called The Egg.
Or is it The Cosmic Egg?
There's a YouTube video.
Oh. Nice. But like...
and it's Kyrgyzstan too. That's nice.
It's sort of like I've taken like high doses of psychedelics, right? And just even without them, just these spiritual experiences or whatever that I've had where it's like, we are all one. There really is no such thing as separation, even in like the like physical actual level that can be deduced by like physics and quantum physics or whatever. There's, there's my skin, right? There's my finger, but then there's the air. So like there's literally no actual separation between like me and the next object or person. Like there's no separation between you and me, even though you're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. From each other, right? But we're still connected through the earth and all that, right? So when you were describing the egg, and tell me what you think about this concept, that like it's sort of like let's call it God or whatever, is testing itself so that it can advance to the next level. So it like lowers itself by becoming a human being or a roach or a water molecule or whatever, and if it behaves correctly according to the own laws that it's set, it can then advance to higher life forms, higher levels of consciousness. I'm kind of losing it right now.
No, yeah, no. It's that idea of, it's like that evolution, but it's an evolution of mind and spirit rather than, of body. You know what I mean? Like it's the learning of the thing and then moving on. And taking that learned experience and applying it to a new life, like 100%, like it's so funny because a lot of that stuff is, I kind of equate a lot of that ideas to when people are just like, I've seen a ghost before. And it's like, no, I think you just felt something that you don't know how to articulate into words.
Right.
So your mind played a trick on you to make you see a thing.
Totally.
Where in reality, you kind of skipped to a place that you shouldn't be, like one of my favorite movies is Donnie Darko. And if you've ever seen that before,
I have.
Like the idea of like how physical time travel can be, that it's a body experience. It's not you walking into a machine and waiting for time to pass. It is physically moving you through space and time. The organic of that, like how dirty that can be, and how like unperfect it can be, and how sometimes shit happens and there is no explanation, but your brain needs to create an explanation so that it can move on. Because if you don't, like you can stand in front of a brick wall the entire time and never move forward, like that. Yeah. Like I think all that shit is connected, like, shared thoughts and memories and deja vu specifically, I've had instances where I felt deja vu. And then would also feel like I was lying to myself, and then everybody knew it. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what does that mean? Like, why is everybody mad at me? And it's like, no, nobody's mad at you. Like, you were just putting out an energy.
Right.
And the energy is being reflected back on you, and you just are now feeling it right now.
Totally, yeah.
And it's gone. You know what I mean? Like, it's just gone now. So, like,
right, yeah. No, I
think all that stuff is connected.
Okay, for sure. What about synchronicity? Do you ever experience?
I actually, so funny you should mention it. During a trip I was having, I decided that it was time for me to sit down and actually keep track of these things, because a lot of the time they were only happening when I was, on a trip.
Yeah.
So I have a whole notepad full of them. And it's like dumb shit too. And I also realized like some of the things, it's like, oh, I'm listening to a podcast and the podcast just happens to bring up subject X.
Yes.
But that's so funny because I haven't thought about subject X for a while, but I decided to have a conversation about X with a friend of mine. And now 3 hours later, I'm listening to a podcast.
Totally.
Also, realizing that the podcasts I'm listening to are people of my age who live a similar life, who have similar interests. And it's like, oh, maybe this is just more kind of aligned thinking. And we've had, not everybody, but there's a lot of people who have just had shared experiences, all that stuff. But yeah, like, again, I think those are just nice little points to be like, hey, just so you know, like this there's a little thread here if you want to pull it, and
so we know that the algorithm is such a powerful force in social media. Do you think that cell phones can read people's minds?
Can they read people's minds? Oh, that's fascinating.
Or are they just so good at predicting behavior and thought patterns that can be mistaken as? Because I experience the same thing with like podcasts, TV. I'll think the word honk and then I'll hear a car honk. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Like, especially podcasts, like.
I also believe in manifesting your own destiny, and I think the thing that people get hung up on is, if you've ever read Think and Grow Rich, where it's just like, oh, just think that there's money in your bank account and suddenly it's there. And it's like, no, that's not true. Like to me, like there was a social experiment that's been done. I couldn't tell you how long ago, where they put a $20 bill on a street corner and they kept track of how many people found it and ran with it, and we're like, oh, you got found $20. Like, oh, do you feel like you're lucky? Like, yeah, I kind of feel like I'm lucky. And then you come to find out that those people are just kind of on the lookout for those things. Like, they're looking for the good in people. Like, they're looking for an opportunity to be a good citizen of the world. Like, and then when they get quote unquote rewarded, it's like, oh, well, it's because I put good karma out in the world.
Right.
Like, I think that's kind of the same thing. that's why I push back on praying so much. Where it's like, oh, we need to pray for this. We need to put these in our thoughts. I'm like, you're not doing anything.
Right.
Like, you're not doing anything to physically put something out there in the world. You know, like if I stop a kid from getting hit by a bus,
right.
I'm not doing that selfishly. I'm not looking for the news to be like, this guy stopped a kid. It's like, no, holy shit. If I was in that position, somebody would grab me too and pull me back.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm just trying to be a good citizen of the world. But then when something nice happens to me, it's like, it's because, you know, you did a thing and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, like that's how this should work. There should be like these payoffs at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Do you think that's why the Catholic Church was so against like paganism and their physical use of their type of prayer, like spells?
Oh man,
you have to use physicality, like it's like science to manifest the will of God, right?
That's a very good take on that. Yeah, I guess it is like because it's not just giving it up to the will, right?
Yeah, it's not just like, oh, you please help that. It's like you do this for
I'm
me.
gonna burn sage, or it's all that stuff. Yeah. Because it's, you know, it kind of comes off like witchcraft if you're not used to it, you know, the things that we don't understand, we immediately take as being negative or madness or evil just because we don't understand it. Like there's a reason why people thought the sun was a god. Right. Holy shit. So would I. You know, I'd be like,
for sure. Yeah.
You know, the first people of the world, just like this thing keeps coming up every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I like to think, or I don't really like to think this, but I think that human beings are essentially a brain that, for whatever reason, amino acids, proteins, whatever led to this evolution where we are aware of our own death, that the brain is scared shitless of existence. You know what I mean? Yep. So it has to attach like meaning and like reason to everything. Like that person who's not like me, they're the cause of my suffering or whatever. And like the brain is just so fucking scared that it will literally like interpret data incorrectly to soothe itself.
Trick you.
Yeah, to trick you.
To lie to you to get through a thing.
So you know what? I think what do they? I think it's in Hinduism, maybe Buddhism. They always talk about like what is before the thinker. Like you're not so much the being that is thinking, you're observing the being that is thinking, right? And I think that's true. Like you know,
you're looking through a window, you're watching a movie.
Yeah, like are you into the They Might Be Giants?
Yes.
Yes, I knew you would be.
Wow, I haven't thought of it forever.
Oh, also, my middle name is Hunter.
Is it really? Awesome.
So
are you named after anyone?
No. My brother's middle name is also Hunter, and my dad, his middle initial was H. It was Harvey, named after his dad. So he just wanted my brother and I to share a name or whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
And we were hunters of the sea, you know, hunting sharks and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
He actually wrote a little news article, or like a snippet that got published called Shark Hunters. Anyways, the concept of the observer, right? Like that you aren't your thoughts essentially, but we're sort of like imprisoned in this like meat fat bulb that rests inside our cranium. You know what I mean? Like
just kind of looking around like, what the fuck is happening?
What is this?
What is going on?
Yeah.
Why would you think that? Why would you say this?
Real.
Well, don't talk to that guy. Yeah, it is that idea of I'm sitting in a movie theater and I'm watching a screen of my life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I hear everything, and I can smell everything, and I can shout and scream, you know, but then the electricity through my body is still gonna say and do stupid things because we were all just made of meat,
right?
Because of course, you know, as a middle-aged white person in Middle America, I go through existential crisis every once in a while. I go through, you know, all that stuff. Yeah, you know, and I get these things where it's just like, oh man, like the world's kind of on fire, and I don't really know what else I can do to help stop that. And now I've got kids, and I brought them into this world, and they never asked to be brought into this world. You know, me and my wife are being selfish, kind of, you know, and it's just like.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's a lot of. I mean, again, there's a lot of good shit in the world too. You know, like that idea of
for sure. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think that as bad as things can get, you know, me sitting in the movie theater in my mind is just like, yeah, but like we get to see the moon. That's pretty cool,
right?
You know, like
yeah.
you know, you sleep in a soft bed at night. That's pretty righteous. Like,
Right.
these things are good.
It's like,
All right, let's deal with the shit in the morning, I guess.
it's like, how do you reconcile like enlightenment and like social justice? You know what I mean? Because like certain sects of Buddhism will be like, you know, or even Christianity, in a sense. Well, not when I say Christianity, I mean like what I interpret as the teachings of Jesus, not what gets presented as
the
Christianity.
Sermon on the Mount. I got you.
Yeah, exactly. The Beatitudes or whatever, Beatitudes,
Yes.
however you pronounce that word. Like, where you know, it's a rejection of society in a sense, especially in like Eastern philosophy and religion. But it's like, okay, like you also like you have to pay taxes so that like the disabled child gets funds at their school. You know what I mean? Like it makes sense. Like not only are you an individual who is attached to the Brahmin and the Atman or whatever, like you're also living here in the muck, in the mud with everybody else. You know what I mean? We're like animal and God, and that's so fucking frustrating, really.
I'm jealous of squirrels. I don't know if I've ever said that before, but like anytime I see a squirrel run around, like, you bastard, you son of a bitch. I bet you're just having a blast.
That is so...
Oh, you're gonna
really
die in
are.
4 months? Fucking you lucky prick. You son of a bitch. That's so lucky. You're so lucky. And like, I'll make jokes like that to my wife, and she's like, how can you make jokes about death and stuff like that? I was like, it's really, if I'm not joking, I'm crying.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
There's a part of, like, I think a part of growing up and like, you know, being human and being a person of the world, like you realize that like you've got about 20% control over what actually you can do, you know. And there's an influencer that I used to follow quite a bit, and I still skip every once in a while, Gary Vaynerchuk, if you're familiar with him.
No, I don't think so.
He's a social media sports guy, but he's very much also of just like, at the end of the day, it's like the odds of a person being born at all is like 1 in like 42 billion or something like that.
Sure.
He's like, and the fact that like you still have both your parents and that you grew up like in an okay household is like the number gets smaller and smaller and smaller. It's like you want to complain about like not doing anything with your life at age 35.
For sure.
Like there's billions of people that didn't make it to 35, you know? And like, to me, like, like sometimes I got to get slapped in the face with that shit. Like sometimes I need to remember that when I take my kids to school, like he's on his own. And I just hope that like the very little that I've been able to teach him and like educate him and be like, hey, you know, when this happens, do this instead. Don't do that, you know? And but all of it's a crapshoot at the end of the day, you know? All of it's a crapshoot. So it's just like, fuck, like it's that idea. It's the complete opposite of like, well, you have no control, so what does it matter? It's like, oh my God, I have no control. None of this matters.
Right,
like,
there you go.
Celebrate that, you know, like celebrate that idea.
Right. What is the meaning of life? 42.
42, 100%. Yeah.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is called perspective. We'll have to wrap up here. Thank you so much. This has been a great conversation.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
We didn't even get to
twist it and turn it into like everything else.
That's what makes a good podcast, in my opinion, where you don't have to rely on the notes as much, and we really we handled it. So thank you so much. Before we go, do you want to tell people where they can find your books?
Absolutely. Head over to my website, ericmhunter.com.
Nice.
I'm pretty much on all the socials, primarily Instagram, Eric M. Hunter. Please head over to Indiegogo and check out our Indiegogo campaign for Casually Cool and Truly Chudy. We've got a lot of great things that we're working on for that. The perks and all the behind the scenes stuff. And I've been really adamant about not only just discussing like what is happening new with the film, but also taking time to be like, we decided to shoot it this way and use this effect because it did, you know, really try to give back to the community, if you want to call it that. But yeah.
No, for sure. I signed up for the Skull Squad. I actually forgot to ask you. I put one of the chili.
You did
the sweet meats chili. I framed it. Is that okay for me to have in the episode?
100%.
Okay. Because I know it said not to post it like on social media.
Oh.
So okay.
You're fine.
When I printed out,
awesome.
I also printed out the cat walking and the PI ad, and I'm going to post those up at my college. I actually bought a staple gun kit for it, so I'm all on board. And I donated $20, which gets my name in the credits.
Hey, thank you so much. See how cool he is? You could be just as cool if you go to Indiegogo and search for Casually Cool.
Exactly. Please support Eric and Inca Films. fuck, this has been a good conversation.
Man.
I'm Josh Hensley.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Follow on YouTube, Instagram. I should probably start posting somewhere else. Mic Check, Pinky Pod, all the other podcasts are on the Let's Ruin Our Lives network on YouTube. From my heart to yours, everybody, Let's Ruin Our Lives is an ironic title. Mahalo.
Everybody wants to be a bodybuilder. Nobody wants to lift this heavy ass weight. Yeah, well I do. Yeah, well I do. I'm not messing around. It's time to show good how it's gonna be done. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Lie, wait. Lie, wait, baby. Lie, wait. Yeah, buddy. That was super heavy. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Ain't nothing but a peanut. Ain't nothing but a peanut. Lie, wait. Lie, wait, baby. Lie, wait, yeah, buddy. Lie, wait, baby. Lie, wait, baby. Yeah, buddy.
I know, but I'd rather be blind in heaven than sighted in hell. Wisdom to play in simple vibes.